Okay, let's try this again. Apologize if
Hello again.
there's any issues popping up, but my computer decides it wanted to be a pain in the ass. As
Yay.
usual. So, nothing out of the ordinary there.
Yeah, pretty much. So, we're back with the second episode of our RWBY discussion.
Indeed. This time we'll be discussing the little bit of the culture, the lands, and a little bit of the backstory. Nothing too spoiler, but just
There
enough.
will be some.
Yeah. And still working on getting the computer, folks. It's going to be a long wait on that one. I have so much other shit coming up right now.
Yeah.
For consider fact, I'll probably be putting this up the night of the recording of this episode. We are doing a charity drive over on our YouTube channels, which I'll remind
Twitch channels.
Twitch channels.
Twitch channels.
Sorry, this is going up on YouTube, so that's where my mind went.
Yeah, fair enough.
So if you would like to, we are doing a charity for the longest day. It's a charity for Alzheimer's.
So we'll have the link in the description.
I also have it up for our charity episodes of Phoenix Wright that are posting up. I'll probably try and put up like 2 episodes a week for that. Just to get a little bit of content out of that. I know I feel awful just trying to get content out of it, but
Eh.
It's not like I'm charging anybody for this shit. So, we do have a few things to discuss before we go right into things.
Yes.
So, in the previous episode, we discussed someone that was bullied to suicide.
Thanks to an actual viewer, we have been corrected by that, and no one has actually died. Oh, that makes me feel a lot better.
Little bit.
Yes.
It is.
I still don't like the bullying was happening, but
Indeed. And like I did say that this podcast is about the show itself, not
yes,
the focus on the background issues with everything.
Yeah, no.
I do feel that they would have to be addressed, but
Correct.
it's not the main focus. So it is back and forth with that.
So, to the first person who's really commented who's not been a friend, thank you, at Crimson XE, or however you want to say that. You're getting a shout out for correcting us for our mistake.
Indeed, we do thank you very much.
We really should have done more research than we did, but everywhere we looked did kind of point that out, so we didn't really double check enough.
Yes, and I will take full blame for that because I was the one that found it. So
yes, I didn't bother to double check because we're a little bit short on time, but I didn't double check, so I'm at just as much as fault.
Yes, we're still trying to get caught up after some things happened. All the backup episodes I had kind of went.
You might also notice the never-ending trail of Soul's computer not working, and well,
it's been a hassle at times. I mean, the one episode we had to record on M's computer, which worked out quite well, but it still doesn't have all the setup just yet.
Yeah, well, we're going to keep experimenting, seeing how things go.
Yes. I am considering it might be cheaper just to start buying parts and just put it away in storage and just wait until I have the entire thing and then build it, but we'll see how it goes.
Yes, I have a pre-built computer, so don't ask me.
I just know I got like a ton of different other friends here that could build it, help me build it, because the only part I'm really not, it's not even.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are going back to the world of RWBY.
Now, last time we're actually going to discuss the world.
Yes. As soon as OBS wants to catch up with the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
At any moment. Now it's not responding.
Oh, lovely.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so apologize for that long pause. If anything got recorded, it was just us complaining about how my computer wants to blow up, but...
So why the hell did we take that long to just get an image of someone's lunch? spilled onto a napkin.
Well, that's how the world of RWBY was first made.
Pull the
Literally,
other one.
Monty Ohm took ketchup, put it on a napkin, smushed it around, and voila, a map. Genius!
You know what? That ain't half bad of an idea. I mean,
And he did
our
this
own...
at an IHOP. So
I've
imagine,
never been to one.
just imagine you're at a like a, I don't know what you would have in Canada, but the closest thing I think of here is like a restaurant, and you just see some guy just blopping ketchup on a napkin, just smushing it around on it.
Yes, we do have restaurants up here in Canada.
Don't lie. And everything just froze again.
Wunderbar!
And yep, there we go. Oh, whoa, whoa, okay. Spasm attack. My
Yeah.
computer just decided to catch up in instant mission. Just had my mouse swivel all over the place. I can't tell if my computer's having a heart attack or it's just possessed.
Have you tried cleaning it?
You know, I'll probably do that after I get food today. But so this ketchup map led to this.
An actual, fairly close map, I want to say. Although the top left looks like a dragon sitting on Africa.
Well, that's intentional. It's supposed to look like a dragon. If you look on the right, you see what I'm pretty sure looks like a Japanese style dragon. That's kind of like the
Oh, the Asian Shenlong.
yes. I couldn't think of the type. And actually, this
Yes.
one kind of looks like a dragon. This is a dragon head and goes down.
No, I get a boat from that one.
You know, now that I turn my head a little more sideways, yeah, I can see the boat. But yeah, the two dragons are intentional. He did that intentionally.
Neat.
But this is the world of RWBY with the four major places that we have just been shown so far. Atlas, I think this is Vale. Oh, no, I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly. I know this is Atlas because Atlas is a snow-covered area. But
Yay.
the other three, I don't remember
Mm-hmm.
specifically. Then again, we've only seen like a map of the world like twice, maybe.
Yeah,
thrice.
I don't even remember when they showed it.
I think it was in one of the trailers, but I could be wrong.
Hmm.
But let's move on.
Yeah, Vale's Crest is the two axes.
Okay. So this is the landmass of Atlas. Nothing too big, but it's a huge snowy area. So, but it
Lucky
does
them.
it is the leading commerce in dust, one of the main resources of the RWBY world.
Hmm.
So, yeah, good for them. They got an industry going. They're going to need it and try to live up there. Now, in the land of Atlas, the there we go. I forgot how big this picture was. This is Atlas, the city, not the continent or whatever, or kingdom or whatever the hell I want to call it.
I believe they use the term kingdom.
Yeah. Now, yes, this is a floating city to kind of demonstrate how technologically advanced this city is. And I'm hoping my computer does not force it decides to hold the blank screen. Come on. There we go.
All right.
So, yeah, it is a floating city. And apparently it has a shield wall around it. And if one of the pylons making the shield wall goes down, wave bye-bye to the shield.
I mean, that's pretty standard for high fantasy, science fiction energy shielded things.
Yeah, but as smart as some of these people have proven to be, that still feels like a really bad flaw.
Again, that's pretty common in most. At least they're not outside, like I've seen in many a video game.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. But this is also the city that had the robots. Was doing research into AIs, which I'm just waiting for a Terminator to happen. Which is,
Look, as long as AI art doesn't happen from it, I'm fine with a few Terminators.
well, the Terminators will be the ones painting.
But they'll still be painting. It won't be like AI art, which will try and be soulless. Terminators seem to have a little bit of a soul. A little bit.
This is Mistral. This is the one. This is, I think, where the first picked up their first relic from, which we'll discuss later.
Mm-hmm.
But this was the second city that they went to after Vale. And this is actually one of the more architecturally designed, beautiful ones, I find.
Yeah, this one was really dang pretty. It's going for kind of a Asian aesthetic.
Yeah, it almost makes me think almost like a Shaolin monk temple, kind of.
It does remind me a lot of the air temples from Avatar.
I like how they built the temple going in between the two mountains.
Mm-hmm.
I would never want to go up there, but I can still think it's pretty.
I'll tell you what, I'll go up there and take photos for you.
Yay! And I do like that they have their airships look kind of like
Boats.
yeah, it kind of reminds me of like a Norse rowing boat.
It's supposed to be, I think, more based off Chinese boats. I forget the term.
I'm just saying.
I want to say junk, but that's probably because it's the only Chinese battleship I can think of off the top of my head from classical eras.
Yeah, well, I know Norse mythology better than I do Chinese mythology, so.
I once watched a special about the world's greatest pirate and how she was Chinese and had like used a lot of junks for stuff.
Funny thing, I actually watched a special on Genghis Khan. That's actually a lot more interesting than you think.
I imagine actually, but
yeah, this is, if I remember correctly, this big building here is their school. If I remember correctly.
that must be the most hated school. No, wait, no, the one with the actual floating island is probably your most hated school.
Yes. But that, like I said, this was the second area we went to, and it wasn't too much there that I recall, besides just being a city.
Yes.
This is Vacuo, which I always mispronounce, and M hates me for it.
Vacuo is how I've always heard it pronounced.
This we have not gone to yet. This is leading up for season 10.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Maybe?
They kind of cliffhangered this place twice.
Yeah. I mean, they clearly, I think this is remnants of Atlas up here in the sky.
Yeah.
And this kind of makes me think, just from how it looks, kind of looks like an Aztec Mayan looking temple in the background.
I like more of Gerdu Town from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but Breath of the Wild has been on my mind a lot lately.
Yes. But I'm just saying, it just kind of has more of a traditional feel of some culture, like
it's built in stone.
Yes,
it feels like.
Whereas Atlas was built in steel.
Yes, not Vacuo. Mistral was built in with wood and mountaintops.
Yeah. So we don't really know too much about this area just yet.
Yeah.
Now, this landmass is Vale, our starting area.
Which has a more close to modern us feel to it, to its architecture.
It's a few steps above us because they have some technologies that we don't, but...
It's also a few steps behind us because it's a fantasy world. Technology's not going to progress the same way and route ours did.
Indeed. Especially when they have dust that changes how their technology will work. Mm-hmm. So, changes abound.
Yes.
Now, Vale is home of Beacon. That was the name of the school.
Yes, Beacon Academy.
This is our starting place for the entire series.
Yeah, so we spend the first few seasons there.
Yeah, so it makes sense that this is really fleshed out for part of the story.
Yeah. Not too far away is a place called Patch, which is the town Ruby and Yang are from.
Mm-hmm. So, clearly a lot of detail went into this building when they were first designing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a very nice inside too. Nice auditorium. No seats though. Kind of a bit of a drag on that one.
I've been to a few tournaments with no seats. It's very weird.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, what happens if someone passes out? You're not gonna be able to sit them down.
Well, what you do is you make sure the students are clustered close enough so if someone falls down, they just kind of can't fall down.
But like I said, there's a lot of details done in this one. I want to say that a lot of it improved as the seasons progressed.
Yes.
Because the first one was a bit of
Yes.
I want to say mess because it was still cleaned up a bit, but it didn't get the attention it got in later seasons. That's all I
No.
want to say.
Yeah.
So before we go any farther, a lot of this shows that depend upon the area you're from, because there are other few other areas I couldn't get proper pictures of.
Yes.
There was the area that the faunists call home, or like a home town, or like continent, or whichever way you want to put it.
Mm.
And there's two more areas we can show off in just a moment. Well, technically four, but I think, but it really shows how diverse each area is in their ways of thinking. Atlas focused on their technology.
Mm.
Vale focused on their hunters.
Yeah.
We don't know about Vakuo yet. And the other place was the first place to really fall to Salem.
Yeah.
Because of the way they're thinking. So it shows how diverse each place actually is. They're all in the same world. They all technically have the same level of capability technology-wise and resource-wise in a sense.
Yeah.
But
it's just Atlas relied on its tech to be its muscle, and they had the resource to back it. They had the supply of dust. Who needs to train when you can give anybody a magic gun?
not to mention you have the resources capability to make soldiers that will save lives out on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Vale was more on the lines of the might of the individual, so they went for a much more individualist kind of feel. That's why I like it looking more like Western modern times for us. Like it looks like a pretty much any town in North America.
Vale
So
works with the individual, but use that individual strength in the process of teams. So they
yes.
did learn teamwork to work with people. The strength,
Meanwhile,
yeah.
it feels like Mistral went for a very traditionalist style with the Asian look to it, where probably the strength of the group was more important. Hence the way it makes me think of that kind of mentality.
We didn't spend too much time in
Yeah, with Mistral, we pretty much just showed up. The characters pretty much just start going, "Hey, there's bad stuff going on." Oh, yeah, we don't know about the bad stuff. Totally didn't already side with the bad stuff out of complete fear.
But then again, in a part way, he was just trying to save himself and his city. So,
Yes.
But and when you consider all that, and Weiss being one of the prominent families from Atlas, her attitude at the start is more understandable. You can still hate it all for all it's worth, but
Yes, there's
you
a
see
reason
where
why
it's
she's
from.
so stuck up. She comes from the richest family and the most important family in a sense for her nation, because without her family, they wouldn't be as strong as they are.
Not to mention that the way she interacts with her family, she realizes that she does not want to be what her father wants her to be,
Yes.
but at the same time, she grew up in this environment. So,
Yeah. While her role model was a great, generous hunter, you can't spend that much time around corrupted people without getting a little bit corrupt too.
and that was one of the things Monty Ohm wanted to make with his series, to show how individuals can be affected by where they grew up. Not saying that they're set in stone that way, but you have remnants of where you're from. I know that was a terrible joke for that, but I went with it.
It's not the worst one you've ever done.
No, but not the best one I'll ever make. So there is one kingdom that we learn about, but we never fully saw anything about with them. And that would be the unnamed kingdoms Ozpin and Salem made in the past. A kingdom of magic, as it were.
Yep.
Though at the time, only Ozpin and Salem had magic.
Mm-hmm.
So they were revered as gods. And I hate that trope.
Yeah, I get why it happens, because...
I'm not saying I don't understand the reasons behind it.
Yeah.
I just...
It feels overdone to you.
It, it's not that it's overdone. It's just that it feels like it was accepted way too easily into the world.
Mm.
Like, I grew up Lutheran, and I kind of have a set. If you're going to prove to me God exists, I have a set criteria of what he has to do in order to prove it to me.
Yeah, that's you. But for them, the characters oftentimes have a different set.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, that's why I can accept it. I can see why these people would, but I just can't. I can't help but think there at least be one or two people kind of questioning this.
Well, they did have some rebellions, so that does mean they weren't seen as
Yeah. So it's why I have
omnipotent
less of a
gods.
problem with it than.
Yeah. That's one of the reasons why you're not tired of the Japanese trend of killing God.
Yeah. I mean, come on, let's face it. God's a jerk.
Yeah, we're just gonna say this right here. The two of us are not exactly the most fond of the character Jealous, which is what Yahweh literally wanted to be called several times in his totally autobiography.
I mean, look, I'll be honest. I said I grew up Lutheran. I'm currently agnostic.
Yeah, I'm atheist.
So.
I grew up technically Roman Catholic, but I only ate the wafers to make my grandparents happy. Ugh, those were terrible tasting. You think if the man could turn himself into bread, he'd turn himself into sweet bread.
I'm just saying, like, there's been a lot of odd things that happen around the world, but at the same time, science just hasn't been able to prove it or explain it yet. So, who knows? But moving on. So this happened into the far, far past, because you can tell Ozpin doesn't look like the Ozpin we know at the current moment.
I mean, Salem looks the same, but there's a reason behind that.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, this was one of the first civilizations of this world. And, like I said, there were some rebellions. And then Salem went,
well,
Salem.
she did have... She kind of had a idea she wanted to implement, which at the point I was when you first hear it, I kind of agree with it.
Yes.
That when they had daughters, their daughters had magic as well. And they thought, okay, if we spread this out, and eventually, like, generations, like, far down the line, everyone will have magic. Okay, I can go along with that. You're trying to make a level playing field. Okay, I can appreciate that. That doesn't sound evil, but she kind of spun that down the drain quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then Ozpin did pass away.
It didn't stick, though.
So then I believe that is Salem trying to visit the God of Light.
Yes. There are two actual gods in this universe, a god of light and a god of dark, representing creation and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
In the sense of before there is creation, there must be destruction. But
Okay, Beers, let's pull it back a little bit.
One of them doesn't pull it back like Beerus does.
But this is I want to say, like, Temple of Light, the Tree of Life, or something to that effect.
I don't see any owls.
But
oh wait, wrong series.
Yeah. So, and mind you, this was like God knows how far into the past when the gods were still here. So if we ever go to this place at the current timeline, I don't think it's gonna look this nice.
Probably not.
I mean, it's probably gonna look like it's a fall season. There's not gonna be a single leaf on that tree. I mean, God, there's already like a lake of leaves. That's gonna be like an allergist's nightmare.
I thought it was just yellow flowers.
I thought those were leaves. Could be both.
I forget.
And now, Google Chrome is not responding. Thanks, computer. There we go.
Kind of. Possibly. Pardon me.
There we go. This is the land of darkness. Salem moved in after the god of darkness left. Or the god of destruction, whatever you want to call him.
Don't really think she did a very good job of renovating.
I know, right? There's not even an IHOP.
There's no Tim Hortons. Where are you going to get coffee? Like, how do you run an evil empire without coffee for your minions?
You know what she has? She has Dunkin' Donuts.
Still better than a Starbucks. That would be overcharging them for nothing.
Well, that Starbucks was on the moon. That's why half of it's gone. So, still there, Em? You kind of cut out there.
I'm still here.
Okay. But, yeah, this is where Salem took up residence. Because
I mean, if you're going to be the evil witch, you might as well, like, take the evilest spot on Earth.
Yeah, well, after she got refused by the god of light, she went to the god of destruction to try and bring back Ozpin. Well, the god of destruction thought she went to him first. Got jealousy. She went to the god of light first. Yada yada. They both decide that she's a bitch and curse her with eternal life. So yeah, then she can't see Ozpin. This is sound like a Deadpool episode.
But then Ozpin just keeps coming back, so she still kind of can't see him.
Yeah, but at that point, their ideology is so different that this marriage ain't working out.
Yeah, no, I would hate to be the couples counselor for that situation.
Yeah, there's no amount of processing that's going to make these two work again.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that it even brings out that Ozpin isn't even in the entire right in this dynamic either.
No.
But you can be more sympathetic with Ozpin because he sees the flaws in this. He is capable of seeing where he went wrong, and he's still human enough to be hurt by it.
Yeah.
Sandler's just out and out nuts at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, she has enough emotion to still have feelings for Ozpin and get mad and make mistakes so that we still have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But she is on the Fruit Loops. I mean,
odd expression, but we'll roll with it.
Yeah, I've done worse expressions.
Yes.
Now this is quite a strange place.
This is where season 9 took place.
I actually do love this place. Not the nature look to it, but just how random it is.
How really fairy tale it is.
This is called the Ever After. Now, during events of season 8, the team lands here.
Yeah,
and
they were, in a sense, during the last few episodes of season 8, they are literally running between dimensions as a shortcut to get from Atlas to Vacuo. And the team falls in the space.
In all their grand planning, they forgot to ask for guardrails.
I mean, I always assume guardrails will be a thing, and I'm not the guy with acrophobia.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, they were told that this guy, the creator of the dimensional shortcut, is a stickler for details, and no one thought about guardrails.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame them. They were still trying to make this up on the fly, but...
Yes.
So, I can forgive certain things, and that's one of them.
Yes.
I don't have to like it, but I'll forgive it.
I definitely don't see you liking that plan even in the slightest, considering all that was below them was nothing.
What are you talking about? I was crawling on the floor the entire way, just looking at the ground.
Wasn't the floor partly translucent?
I had my eyes closed.
Look, someone's just putting you in a wheelbarrow and running with you.
Whee!
Or dumping you off the side.
I'm not looking, at least I won't have to see it.
You'll just fall into the void.
But I like this place, and I thought they could have done some more with it.
I honestly thought they could put 2 seasons in here. Kind of glad they didn't.
Well, the way they were going... Okay, here's how it is. When they first get here, I was enthralled. But the way they were going with it, I'm glad it was only 1 season.
Yes. The pacing of the season was a little bit on the
Quick side.
too fast, too slow, too fast, too slow.
And I think that also kind of plays into the fairy tale setting with it, where it just
It
kind of.
does. It's really based off the Alice series of, Wonderland, Through the Looking
Mhm.
Glass kind of mentality of their stories with not real good points, and that's the point of the Alice stories. Is they're supposed to be like going through a trip. It's why everyone makes the drug analogy with Alice.
And this is where I kind of had a thought about it, and it's not a complete thought, but it's kind of like the stories were supposed to teach about morals, in my opinion, for this world.
Yes.
And my thought was that morals only have a meaning if you understand them. If you
Mm.
have no morals yourself, it's pointless. But if you have morals or you understand them, the story has more meaning. But that was just how I was looking at the episode as it was progressing.
Mm.
Because you can, like, it's kind of like telling someone stealing is bad. Well, if someone likes to steal, it's completely pointless telling them that. So it was just interesting, and like they kept it to a few stories from the Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah,
but
but they also did their own thing with it.
they had added their own little twist. The Jabberwocky was a monster that ate the people there. Um, the two people that got the two biggest lessons out of it was John and Ruby.
Yes. Who, honestly, they needed those lessons.
Yeah. Not to give in the how, but John learned that he can't control everything, and that sometimes to help somebody you have to let them.
Yeah, you have to. As John has massive survivors guild,
Mm-hmm.
he can't let people go. He needed to learn that you need to let people go, and that you need to stop trying to be the hero from a storybook. His lesson literally makes him the hero from the storybook he grew up with,
Mm-hmm.
and he's terrible at it.
As unfortunate it is, you can't save everyone,
No. And
and
Ruby's
trying to
lesson.
do so also can squander individualism.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you don't know the best for people. You think you do, you really do, with how he handled the paper pleasers.
To be
Like,
fair, they were lighting themselves on fire.
yes, nobody can blame him for being a little bit protective of them. Because, well, they have the survival instincts of,
Lemmings.
well, considering lemmings actually have fairly fine survival instincts, that image of them running off a cliff was fabricated.
No, I meant the video game Lemmings.
Oh, never played.
Yeah, they have the only time they have a survival instinct is you tell them to stop. Yeah,
Fair
I
enough.
knew the cliff going off the edge for real lemmings was false. I just meant the video game lemmings. My mistake.
Fair enough, fair enough. It's just when people say the survival instinct of lemmings, they go with that, and most people don't know that's a thing.
Mm.
Anyway, but yes, they didn't have very good survival instincts, and they did help him, so he's trying to return the favor. And,
Because
well,
the reason for this is that that big tree there is kind of the root of the world's reincarnation.
mhm,
This world literally reincarnates you into something else,
yes,
or as
something
they put, I
unique.
believe, for your, to find your purpose again.
Yes, generally you become something better. Generally, it's believed,
Mm-hmm.
but that's pretty hard to swallow. So of course, those not from this world don't really buy it that well.
Yeah, not to mention due to Juan's experiences being a character from the story, and then actually living through it, and then misunderstandings and false truths,
Yep.
he got A, pretty jaded quickly, and B, not all there sometimes.
Yeah, he's literally, I think, crazy at several points.
Because he was there for a good while.
Yeah, he's at least in his 30s, I want to say, at that point. He's been there
Mm-hmm.
for probably as long as he's, like, double his own
So
life. He
he
spent
is,
half his life there.
yeah. So he has
And
reasons for,
yes, the world does teach him the lesson, but he was basically going for the longest time, la 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 la, not listening.
yeah.
So the lesson became a little bit harder each time, it seems.
Ruby learned that as there's no such thing as the perfect hero
Yes.
because
His entire time, she has been trying to be the team leader, the fixer, the one who keeps everyone going, the perky sunshine, and be just like Mommy, the best huntress ever.
and she did stumble a bit in the beginning, but she still had everything pulled through.
Yeah.
Atlas was the biggest. Well, I wouldn't say failure because it did succeed to an extent,
But it was a failure in her eyes.
and not to mention it was a bit of a disaster.
Um, yes.
Just a bit.
Also, she lost one of the dearest friends in the world and kind of blames herself for it, even though really not her fault for what happened to poor Penny
Yeah,
twice.
but during some scenes, without trying to do spoilers, she learned that even the one that she saw nothing but perfection in wasn't as perfect as she was led to believe.
She lied. She went behind people's backs. She didn't trust people fully.
She
And
even
that's
talked to people that she considered to be completely in the wrong,
yes.
which
Mm,
she learned that her mother was human.
yes.
So,
And there's also a really good point about this that's not a lesson she learns, but it's kind of a lesson her team learns is that we put a lot of baggage on the youngest member and we don't really get to talk to her very much. We always put our problems first or someone else's problems first. We don't let her emote properly
well,
sometimes.
I kind of like that because
Yeah,
what
I did too. It's
what
literally
what I was
their
saying
flaws.
that the way the story progressed, they weren't doing intentionally or just wholly dumping problems on her.
Yeah, they were just that's just what they do. They
She was
weren't doing.
just the natural team leader, and the things built up.
Yeah,
They didn't literally just tell Ruby, "Hey, solve this problem. Solve this problem. This is a huge thing. What are we going to do?" They
it's
were a
just
team. Ruby just had the whole responsibility of it.
yeah. She was the one who often came up with the spur of the moment idea. So when they needed an idea, everyone just slowly glanced at her rather than maybe we could spin our own ideas back and forth. Because up until then, for Blake, Weiss, and Yang, it was working. Like, sure, things didn't go 100% all the time, but for them, things were going way better than if nobody else was in
And they
charge.
didn't blame Ruby when things went wrong. They weren't just
No,
saying, "Oh, this is all your fault."
no, they were like, okay, Ruby's plan didn't work because of Salem, because of Cinder, because of Ironwood. They
Because
put the
the
blame
because
at
the
those
group
who,
plan they literally do make it feel like it was more of a group failure than just the individual.
yeah, and they blame who's pretty much more at fault, not the plan maker, but the person who threw the monkey wrench in. But Ruby, as she's trying to be the perfect heroine, cannot see who threw the monkey wrench. She just saw, oh, my plan had a giant hole in it. It's my fault that this didn't work. If I had been better, there would have been no place for the monkey wrench to be thrown in. That's not how plans work. Plans are flawless until they beat the enemy.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I love characters like Lelouch so much, is that when his plans fall apart, unless he's emotionally wrapped up in something else, he generally goes, oh, I need to find a way to turn this to my advantage and quick. Not,
You know what also kind of reminds me of
hmm.
the Ghost of Tsushima when he starts poisoning the Mongolians,
Oh, yeah.
and then the Mongolians start using the poison against them.
Yeah, not a good plan, but it was a good plan.
Yeah.
And and honestly, I do think how Ruby learns her lesson really works for me. I know a lot of people complained it was too fast, kind of forgetting they're in a freaking storybook story for kids.
Yeah.
The logic of that world kind of supersedes things, in my opinion. I
My
don't see it as excuse. I just see it as this is how this genre works.
I look at it from two perspectives on that one.
Mhm.
One, because of the world they're in and how things work, I'm fine with it. if this had been the thing about it is that
Okay, if Ozpin had waved his magic stick at her, it would have felt like a giant cop out.
mm-hmm.
But because she's in a world where literal instant magic reincarnation happens, and you kind of get to choose who you reincarnate as, yeah, it works for me.
Well, the reason this works for me is because it was leading up to it. You saw the cracks starting to form in RWBY.
Yeah.
So
Most people I know don't complain about the cracks. They complain about fixing the cracks.
I prefer the lead up to at least show off what's going on,
Oh
rather
yeah,
than just being all condensed in one episode.
yeah. I think her breaking point was the best part of this. Like it was pacing wise. I don't think it was the best part, but honestly, the best part about the season was finally getting goddamn Bumblebee to finally be canonized.
Yes, it
Look,
is official. Bumblebee is canon, people. Suck it.
don't like it? Sorry.
Kiss my ass.
Can't-
Kiss my ass. Best couple in the show. Best couple in the show.
If you don't like it, write your fanfics and enjoy your own headcanon. But it's canon now. It was always planned to be canon. Wasn't probably planned to be drawn out like this, but
That's what happens when one of the main creators passes on. Things
Yeah,
change, processes are
merchant-
evolved, and such and such.
and definitely feel like the guys in charge of merch may have had a few bit of more control of, hey, draw it a bit longer, we can sell more merch. Or somebody in the higher up was scared to.
And the way I put it, couples aren't an instant thing.
No, they can be.
They
but
can be, but here's the thing. There are couples that either A, they don't know what they want in the relationship, so that makes it rocky.
Yep.
They may not even know what they are. Bi,
Yep.
gay, whatever. Don't
Yep.
even care. So that's another thing to take into consideration. And they may need to mature before the relationship could even work.
Hmm?
So there's a
Or-
multitude of things that go into this.
Or you may just need a little bit of push from somebody outside your group to those things.
So relationships, regardless of anything else, are complicated enough.
Yeah.
So this
Throw in trying to save the world.
yeah, so this taking 9 seasons, I'm fine with.
Yeah.
And
I think it should have been done sooner, but I'm going to say this. The actual visuals the Ever After gave them to actually get them together, chef's kiss. Oh my god, it was pretty.
mm-hmm.
The color choice, the actual metaphors they were using of the rope bridge, and their stupid lines to each other were so cute.
And let's take in another consideration. I'm not trying to fault them for it. These are still teenagers.
Yes.
And they're popular kids. So having multiple relationships is not that unheard of.
No.
I mean, remember your high school years. How many times did you hear a story about somebody broke up, got back together, broke up, dating somebody else, and by the end of the school year, they're back together?
Me? Zero, because I didn't have any actual friends in high school.
Okay, well, even I didn't have that many, but even I heard that a couple of times.
Look,
So-
I had serious depression in high school, and I had no friends. The two don't really get well to gossip mongering, but I do get what you mean, because I still see that with goddamn adults.
Yeah, or like the TV shows you watch on like the drama stations that a lot of people watch. How many times has that ever happened with adults, kids, whatever?
A lot with adults trying to play teenagers.
Indeed.
That's
So
Power
all I'm
Rangers.
saying is that this being not just a one and done deal in like season 1, I'm fine
Yeah.
with,
Yeah.
because it makes them realize that, along with trying to save the world, which I'm sure is complicated enough given everything that's going on.
Then you have to take into account Blake's terrible backstory and Yang's abandonment issues with her mother.
Yeah. So, on that end, I'm okay with it taking this
Yes,
long.
I have problems with it, but I think it was the actual. It was good. I really liked it.
And if they,
I will not get over the cute lines they had, especially of Yang complimenting Blake's ears.
and if they didn't become a couple, I also would have been fine with it. I would have disagreed, but I wouldn't have gone and pestered the creators or anything like that. It's like,
Goodness
it's a
gracious,
show.
no.
Get over
Yes.
it.
Like I said, if I don't like a ship, I tend to just go, all right, I'll just headcanon something else for a while.
I mean, shit, I always pester him about my shipping with Shino and Hinata.
Still makes more sense to me than Naruto with anyone smarter than a block of wood.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I have pretty much the same thought.
So, we'll move on now. This is crystal dust in its natural form of a crystal. This is...
It looks like a candy cane. I'm gonna lick it.
And your tongue immediately catches on fire.
See, that's what your jokes sound like in 14.
Wow, there's a lot less explosions.
Yes. But yeah, dust is one of the MacGuffins of the franchise.
Yeah, it's a fuel source. It allows you to use elemental damage with your weapons.
It powers vehicles, machines.
God knows what else we could do with it. And the main mining source is an atlas.
Yes.
There's probably a few other places here and there, obviously, like if you like a mining place for like steel or like no, not steel, iron, because steel is a composite metal.
Yes, yes. Good job. You remembered basic chemistry.
But think of it like iron. There's sediments all over the place, but there's set up mines in large portions in other places.
Yeah. And there are places that's going to have higher concentration, and also first come, first claim. So I definitely can't get the idea now of one of the Shnees being an old-timey prospector.
Yeehaw!
There's dust in them there hills! And that's how you lost your uncle. He decided to just jam a pickaxe in the first crystal he saw.
The explosion was talking about for years.
In fact, his wife still has tinnitus from it.
No, he's why the city floats.
It's gonna come back down any minute now.
We're still waiting for the fall. This is dust in its dust form, which is why they call it dust, because in order to get the best properties out of it for their use, they pretty much have to grind it up.
Yeah, which probably makes the actual crystal less explosive than you think it is, because I wouldn't want to grind anything that explodes.
Well, I mean, it would make transportation a lot easier.
Yeah,
because you can just put it in this vial, because I figure that's probably about the crystal that we just saw in this nice little vial that stands up on its own. You can put on shelves and crates and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
you can refine it and pack it into
a black screen. Woohoo!
I'm trying to psychically will your computer to work. Wow, it worked. But yeah, you can package it, refine it, and place it into ammunition, as an example.
Just a second. I reloaded the page, and now it's gonna...
Laughing time is over.
Yeah.
There we go.
So, this kind of has two questions to it, to me. One is... because you can use the bullet to get, like, elemental effects from your weapon. Gravity, fire, lightning, ice, blah-de-blah. Yeah,
I love blah-de-blah bullets. There's so much damage. They're very powerful, especially against living things. I'm sorry. Whenever someone mentions specialized ammunition, I think of Barry Burton with acid ammo.
Well, I have acid weapon in one of the Spider-Man video games, so yeah.
But, okay then. All I can picture now is Spider-Man accidentally creating Two-Face.
But this one kind of leads from how most bullets basically work. This is the shell casing, this is the bullet, and this is the primer in the back. So you would think that all it does is that the fire crystal dust just shoots the bullet.
Yeah.
That's not how this works. It really fires a fire bullet because of the way the dust works. So it just, like, I understand that it's a fantasy world, so I don't have to have the exacts on it.
Yeah.
But because I understand how it works, it still just makes you question it, because it's just how I am.
Shut up, it's magic.
Yeah. Big shocker on that one. But those are the three basic forms of dust, essentially.
Yes.
Now, they do have dust that look like shotgun shells that Yang uses.
There, you can literally go to a store and just get raw dust powder. In fact, Ruby's trailer is just someone stealing dust from a dust shop.
Uh huh.
Which there's quality of dust as well, apparently, which makes some sense if it's a mineral because there are qualities to gold and silver.
Yeah. Plus, not to mention contaminated dust that you just put like colored dirt in.
I'm just picturing someone like mixing in food coloring with some random sand they found, trying to pass off. Look, I have fire dust. Runs after selling it.
You know, that's probably someone's probably done that at the start of all this.
Yeah, probably.
Now, this is a very important item for the series.
Yes, there are 4 super MacGuffins.
Basically, magical items. This is the indecisive king or crown.
Crown. The crown of.
So we don't know too much about this. This is in Vacuo, I believe.
Yeah, Vacuos.
So I believe Vacuo. I could be wrong. This could be somewhere else, but this is one of the items we don't know that much about currently.
Yeah, it's should be in Vacuo.
It's either this or the other item we'll get to in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
This one just came up first in my search, so I was like, I'll go in this order. But that leads us to the lamp.
Mm-hmm.
And these 4 items are called relics.
Yes.
They are, I want to say, like old magical items, because they are literally magical, even by this rule standards.
The crown is called the Relic of Choice. That's what it's called.
The relic of choice. Thank you. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I.
It was owned by the Indecisive King.
Okay. That's why it was up in the title. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the lamp called? Do you happen to know that one?
Oh, I can double check that right now.
But there are 4 of these relics, and each one is owned by one of the 4 major kingdoms.
The Lamp of Knowledge, I believe it's called.
Knowledge. Okay, that I thought it was something to that effect, but
No, the crown was in Beacon.
okay,
The sword we'll talk about is in Vacuo.
that's right, because they lost at Beacon, and the crown was okay. Okay, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
the crown is missing, I believe.
Yeah, because they got the lamp at Minstrel.
Mistral. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, the lamp summons a Jinn.
That is literally her name, and you will see her in a moment. I hope.
Yeah. She has the ability to answer 3 questions, once per century.
At the time of the show, she's already answered 2 for her century roundup.
Yeah. She has 1 free question left, and it's implied that she can answer any question.
Now,
like if there is an answer to it, she will give it to you.
this is where I call into question a lot of old stories with things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at first, M didn't agree with me on this one. I'm kind of on his opinion now after meeting the other spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be careful about how you word the question.
Yes.
Ozpin asked at the time, how can I defeat her? Specifically implying himself.
Yeah. She did not give him an answer that it was good for him.
No, she told him he cannot.
Yes.
Essentially.
That's what I always picture is she will answer any question. You just got a monkey's pod.
Yes. So
if he had asked, what is the means to defeating Salem? Much more vague, but would have given a better answer.
And that's where that's my crutch in this with her.
Mm-hmm.
Because just because she answered the question doesn't mean it's the answer that you looking for.
Expect or an answer you can use.
Yes.
There are many stories where like someone is told about the chosen one, thinking they are the chosen one, only no, you're going to find the chosen one. That's your destiny. But they do go through all the hassle, all the adventures, and think, oh hey, I'm the chosen one. One another example is spoiler for Assassin's Creed 2. The much more amazing assassin Ezio is told a story for the person who will read his DNA in the future. And he has no idea what the fuck is going on. He is just the means of getting the answer to someone who needs the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And Jin could probably very much make you that. She has the answer for the right person. It's just you're not the right person asking. Or it also makes you remember the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where you can get the ultimate answer, 42, but nobody bothered getting the ultimate question.
Yeah.
You need, just because you have the answer doesn't mean it's any useful to you. And I like that vagueness about an ethereal creation of a god.
So it just kind of like, on one hand, I understand what they're going for. On the other hand, I just kind of find it funny that no one bothered to ask, or at least see the point that Osmond, you asked a question of how you can do it.
Yes.
Clearly, you can't. What we need to ask is, how do we?
Yes.
Or how? Or
You should have asked, is there? Then found out, okay, yes. Then you could have asked, okay, what is it?
yeah. So she really makes me, especially with the next one we'll talk about in a moment. Be careful how you word things.
Yes. I also do like how they have personalities.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Ruby activates her, but doesn't have a question. She
Yeah.
just needed. When you activate Jin, she stops time, so you have all the time in the world to ask your question and get your answer.
And she was amused by this because it was actually quick thinking.
Yeah, she is a being of knowledge. You having knowledge and wisdom to use this, hey, that's smart. Don't pull it again, though.
Yeah. She.
I like that. And Ruby just needed 5 seconds to catch your breath.
Assess the situation and then try not to die.
Yes. And Jin rewarded her with that. Okay, you got 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And in the heat of battle, well, 5 seconds is amazing. Just ask Hit from Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah. But I just like, well, for one thing, I like her form. It's like, it's a classical genie.
Yep.
With a bit more smoke involved.
Yep.
Clearly female.
Yes.
I mean, I think she did say she, or someone said
Yes.
she, so clearly
Yes.
female, and she's not correcting that.
Yeah.
So it's a nice look, and it's what I would think a Jin would look like.
The downside is she is currently with Salem.
And the other downside is all her questions are used up.
I believe so for this entry, yeah.
Yeah, because at the start we learned that one question was already asked.
Yep.
The second question was learning about Osmond's past.
Yep.
And the third question was by that guy on Salem's team to learn the truth, I think.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Mhm.
So, as far as I recall, she's all used up.
Yep, she has to wait another 100 years, and then she has 3 more questions she'll answer.
Or she's bullshitting that and just doesn't want to be bothered every century for every year.
I mean, can't you blame her?
No, but I'm just saying, like,
Guarantee you someone's asked some really stupid questions.
given how this has been working so far, there might be more loopholes, is all I'm saying.
Yes.
So, but because we don't have possession of the lamp, we don't know. And we're also told by the guy who basically knows more about this than anybody else. Yeah, that's how that works.
Yeah.
And given the details he gave us about
Everything else.
the staff of creation, it does give him some credits on what he knows about this shit.
It does. But he also, too, might be bullshitting for the safety of the world.
Fair enough.
Speaking of which, this is the creation staff, which, yeah, kinda descriptive of what it can do.
Yeah,
It
this...
also houses a magical creature, but
Mhm.
frankly, it's a big staff. It's a bit harder to travel with than the other two.
Now,
Somebody-
this one is a little hard to pronounce, so forgive me if I mispronounce this one.
Mhm.
As far as I can read it as, Ambrosius.
It's based off ambrosia, the food of the gods in Greek mythology.
Now, this one has a
Often
more
used
male
to inspire
physique.
Yeah, he's much more. He's clearly male. He identifies as male, and while he may have a Ken physique, he definitely is not afraid to show off those pecs and abs.
And
Like
this
the
guy...
the dude has created some workout for himself.
Yeah. And this guy... I actually enjoy this guy just because of the way he is. He likes his job of creation, but likes screwing you over
Again, another monkey paw situation, which I do like.
But the way
He
he
is.
monkey paws you is he finds what you don't ask for, or use what you ask for, because during the explanation of what he's supposed to create, we says a one-way ticket, and once they get through the portal, they can't go back through it. All because we said that out loud and he picked up on it. So
Yep.
he's a stickler for details that you ask for.
You have no one to blame but yourself with his creations.
Mm-hmm. So while he gives you exactly what you ask for, he enjoys finding the little cravats of, I wouldn't say
Ooh,
flaws,
yeah,
because it was flawless to everything they asked for.
yeah,
So in that perfection is where you screwed up.
yeah.
So it kind of leads credit to the point that nothing's perfect.
No.
And he's actually, I did enjoy watching him on screen, not just because of the Ken body. But no, his attitude of being a builder and likes when they're ingenious about things, like how they brought Penny back the first time.
Hmm?
About using old parts and new parts to create a body that didn't have a bomb in it. And, like, I know that's not the exact details of it, but
Yeah,
they literally had creative ideas and he was enjoying it. He was
yeah,
bantering with them.
yeah.
He enjoys
He
his work to
likes.
such a degree.
He feels like such a craftsman that you come in with a request and he will workshop it with you, but he also won't fix all of your mistakes because the customer gets what the customer wants.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going to clarify what he needs to build for the customer.
He is literally the perfect salesman. Like, this is exactly what you asked for. Any failures on your part?
Yep. I built it to your specifications. We went over your specifications. You had a chance to double check your specifications. You got what you got. I had a blast making it, though. Do ask again sometime.
And I think another thing is that he doesn't make the same thing twice.
Yes, he won't repeat himself, from what I understand.
But that also just leads credit to his per.
Yeah, he is a master craftsman. He wants to be challenged.
Mm-hmm. And he had a blast forming this whole idea with the group. So,
Yeah.
and you see,
Also,
okay.
there's a funny joke about him. When he was in the creation stage, his folder file was called Merlin Daddy. The staff had to go public after people found out that was his code name. He has no relation to Merlin. They just wanted to write Merlin Daddy.
I love it.
And I'm like, you know what? Saying Merlin Daddy is kind of fun. I don't blame you now.
But
One of those phrases you think, oh, that should not work. You know what? Merlin Daddy.
I'm gonna say, just because it sounds fun, Merlin Daddy. Yeah, that is
There
fun.
you go. It is fun.
But
It's one of those phrases that feels good in your mouth, like Martin Landau. What is that? Oh, I just wanted to say. Sorry, if you get that joke, you watch as much YouTube comic
so,
skits as I do.
based upon this, what we have so far is the Crown of Decision,
Yep, choice.
which I'm assuming, or the Crown of Choice, which probably shows you choices in everything,
Apparently, it shows you visions of the future.
or possible
Completely-
futures. I would believe that how I believe
Completely
that works.
random futures, and you cannot control when and what you see.
A
So-
lamp of knowledge, which
Right.
could help influence your decisions.
Mm-hmm.
A staff of creation that creates things. So I'm willing to bet this thing destroys things.
It is the sword of destruction.
So this probably lets you destroy things.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am
I
curious.
def-
Okay.
I definitely see it because we've already made the Beerus joke. It having his Hakai. You basically stab something, and that thing you stab is gone.
Now this also leads to the point why Ozpin never used it on Salem.
Gee.
So is it because of the spirit's personality, or
Mhm. Is it because it doesn't destroy immortal things? Because that's what she is. She is now a constant.
is it because he never had the chance to, or he thought it would work because of what the Jin said to him?
Or is he just not capable of picking it up? Like, oh, only the chosen one can pick up the sword of destruction, or activate the sword of destruction, and you're not it, and that's the only way of killing Salem. So you can't kill Salem.
You know, I'm just picturing someone picking this up and dropping it and destroying the Earth because it dropped pointy end
It
down.
makes you made me think of that joke from Robot Chicken where Qui-Gon drops his lightsaber and it just keeps falling through the space.
It's like, oh
No,
fuck.
no. What I picture is you get to destroy one thing, like one person gets to use it once. So maybe Osman already used it. And what you ever stab with it, it's gone. And I don't mean like poof. I mean like, hey, wasn't there a person here? I don't remember a person being here. Like it's that destructive.
So
Like
there
it's
is a lot of mystery behind this thing,
which, like I said, it's getting our imaginations running. I like that.
and
I
here's the
just
thing.
hope it's not just amazingly sharp.
Yeah,
Like it can cut through anything. Like, oh, that's lame.
because here's the two things. Because the two spirits so far have been a fun to interact with, in my opinion.
We don't know if the crown has a spear.
I would assume so, but that's only because based on the other two.
Yeah. Which, if the crown gives you random visions, it definitely sounds like whatever's in the crown just wants to watch something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm just picturing the crown being just some TV guy. Like, I totally don't want to care about your future. I want to watch your love life get fucked.
Because here's the thing. It's called the butterfly effect for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because the tiniest thing can have huge consequences. That's
It's not
why
gonna
a
go-
lot of times I don't really believe wholeheartedly in destiny or fate or.
It's also why I don't really buy multiple timelines.
I will buy the multiple timelines only by the percentage that it's multiple dimensions.
I
Like,
prefer that as multiverse theory, not multiple timelines.
it's kind of the same thing
That's
to me.
that's me
Yeah.
nitpicking, and it's also me still on a Legend of Zelda train of thought. And I do not buy the three timelines, Nintendo. I'm sorry, I like you, but no, you don't have three timelines. You would have either three timeline, you either have one timeline or quadrillions of timelines.
But that's neither here nor there for that argument.
Sorry, that's always in the back of my head, ready to explode out. We're gonna definitely do an episode about that one of these days.
Maybe sooner than you think. But it does leave a bit of intrigue. Like, what are the other two spirits like? Are there two other spirits?
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing.
Why?
I kind of find it funny that the other two kind of like their jobs as they are, but the Sword of Destruction hates their job.
I can definitely see that.
Like he's the being that wants to create things, but his job is literally to destroy it.
Yeah, or he just appreciates life, and everyone keeps making you kill things.
Mm-hmm. Because I can just see him being like looking up to Ambrosius as like a big brother idol.
Yeah, I can see that. Or I could maybe he's just like, I'm only interested in killing strong things. Don't ask me to just kill like Joe Schmo. I ain't coming out unless you're making me fight God.
Or
Salem's a bro. I don't care. Not a god. Not doing it.
he just wants to be in it, have it interesting. Like, can you kill an
No.
immortal being? That
No,
actually sounds like
actually-
an interesting challenge.
No, it actually is Beerus. He's just having his 1,000-year nap.
Oh god, if beers ever came to Remnant, we would be so fucked.
I don't know. I think he would definitely like the tuna ramen that Blake gets.
Yeah, but I see Weeks pissing him off.
Honestly, I see it being Yang first upon.
Eh,
Or Osmond. Just Osmond.
yeah, I can blame Osmond for it.
Yeah, that's what Osmond for.
So, this is the end of the episode, and for a few minor notes before we give it a close off.
Yeah.
This show, when Monty Ohm was first making it, wanted to have a show about people and where they come from. In my feeling, that meant both from their land and from their homes.
Yes. How much your nurture made you who you are.
Mm-hmm. And that people can. I shouldn't say
And-
everyone, because there are some people that are
So stuck in their ways, yeah.
not only that sociopaths are not going to change, given what we have right now. People can't be set in their ways too much, like Adam.
Yeah.
So there are people that cannot change.
Yes. You can still find out why they are the way they are.
But that
And
doesn't mean you're always going to be able to save them.
and they sometimes are definitely not worth saving.
No. I honestly hope this doesn't try and save Salem,
Yeah, no.
because if she does, it kind of ruins the feel with Adam, because Adam is far less
Way
crazy than
less.
she is.
Yeah, way less. Like, I don't think he was worth saving. Uh, Neo was definitely in the gray area of.
Neo, depending upon what transpires next,
Yeah,
if she even reappears, because she,
she might be gone forever.
yeah, because as
Which
a
is fine.
state, change is a process. It's not one and done.
Yeah. You never stop learning, you never stop growing. You might be set in your personality and your life goals, but you yourself are still going to learn and grow.
Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is that even the for even Yang, Blake, Ruby, and Weiss have changed.
Yeah.
They haven't changed explicitly who they are.
The four of them are still, to the core, girls who want to do the right thing
Mm-hmm.
and save as many people as they can along the way. Now,
Yang is still energetic and makes bad puns.
she's still rearing to punch first solve problems because she realizes I'm the diplomat of the team.
And that, but she's also taken lessons from her father that it's not always a direct approach that works.
Yes.
But
Just
it's not like
because,
she instantly lost her temper.
yeah, she's not, just because she's still the first one to punch doesn't mean she's going to start the fight. She's
Mm-hmm.
not going to also throw herself in front of people just because she could.
Weiss has found herself and lost quite a bit of her attitude, but
Yeah, she took pride in her family too much. Now she's proud of herself, of her own accomplishments, and that's what keeps her standing. Is that I have
mm-hmm.
come so far, even through all the shit that's happened.
Blake has found her ability to put trust in other people outside of the faunus.
She's still
To really,
kind of a pessimist,
yes, but she
but
has faith in
yeah,
others, especially her team.
yeah,
She's
she
seen the better part, and from Adam, she saw what she could have been.
yes, she is willing to remind the team to ground them, but she's not willing to drag them down to, whoa, misery is us. No, it's more lines of, there could be a flaw here, guys. And she's with people who trust her, who go, okay, good point, maybe we should reword this.
Mm-hmm. Or
And
help her see past that gloominess to
yes,
see the possibility that's ahead of her. Because
yeah,
I get the feeling Blake was trying to find the chance for human faunus equality,
yeah.
but having
Everyone around her kept saying that's an impossibility. Enough people going, no, you start to believe the no.
mm-hmm. Especially when you bring up her confused feelings with Yang throughout most of the season, and then you think she was going to hook up with Monkey Boy, whose name I can't remember now.
It's literally Sun.
Okay, I thought it was, but I was like, did
They
a
they
pun on that,
okay.
or?
They did not put any effort in their Sun Wukong reference name.
No, they did not. But
I like Sun, but I'm not
and
crazy
the
about
thing
that.
is like I could even see them as a couple. I don't agree with it, but I could see it.
I could see
So,
them as a throuple.
but that's
And Ruby has learned how to be a leader. She has learned how. She has learned one of the most important lessons as well. Why do we pick ourselves up?
mm-hmm.
She has become not the full hero she's going to be. I think she still has some growing to go,
Indeed.
but she has become what her team needs of her, and she's become what she needs for herself.
Mm-hmm.
Although I really freaking hope, at least like for an episode in season 10, these four girls get a chance to just sit down and like chill the fuck out because they need it.
Look, if we don't get at least one date with Yang and Blake before all shit goes happens, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
disappointed.
we're gonna riot. If Ruby doesn't get like one day to just sit down and just like have a good sob, she's going to end up a worse alcoholic than her uncle was.
You know what? I just see her having that sit down and just having like a jar of cookies right next to her as well.
with the
And
biggest
as
milk
she empties it,
mustache.
and after she empties one jar, it fills with tears as she grabs the next jar of cookies.
Yep. She's got the biggest milk mustache. And Whis, I don't know, Whis just needs another example of
We
a
needs to punch her
raccoon.
father.
Oh, she needs to punch her father, yes, but she also just needs another example of a raccoon breaking the laws of logic to her.
uh, I love that. I love that place for some reason.
Yeah,
It's
Whis in,
frustrating and fun at the same time.
Whis in the first few episodes of season 9 were so good with just her like, that's not how. I hate this place.
Talking raccoon.
Of course the raccoon is talking. Of course it's trying to pile of trash. It'd be trying to pile of trash.
So that's where we're going to
Look.
leave RWBY off from there. So I can hear. M, do you hear that? There's cheering in the background.
Yes, yes, there is. It's time to return to Bleach.
That one guy's
We're
going to
gonna-
fall off and go face first into the cement.
He's from Squad 11. He wasn't using his brain anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we're returning to Bleach, and we're going to cover the 4 movies.
Yeah, the four move. Wait, was there only 4?
There were only 4 full movies. There were a few OVAs, but there were only 4 movies. There was Memories of Nobody, Diamond Dust Rebellion, I forget the name of the third one, and the Hellverse.
Okay, I honestly thought there were more movies.
There's an OVA that covers the Grand Fisher fight.
Yeah, I know about that one. But I'm just saying, like, it feels weird because Dragon Ball has, like, 15 movies at this point.
Dragon Ball Z alone has 50 movies, yeah. Dragon Ball itself, I think, has 10.
So it just kind of feels weird.
I think Naruto has 8. But I'm pretty sure, though, Pokemon has almost 25 movies, if not nearing 30.
So that just kind of feels weird that Bleach only has, like, less than a handful, less than I have fingers.
Well, technically, your thumb is not a finger.
Well, I still have the other 4 fingers.
Fair enough, but you were only holding up one hand.
But,
and yes, he was counting the movies off as I listed them with his fingers.
Well, it's only because I was like, that doesn't seem... This feels weird.
It does feel weird, and considering, spoiler alert for our next episode, one of those movies I consider hot garbage and should just be skipped, it's really only 3 movies. And one of those 3 movies is just okay, in my opinion. 2 of them, I think, are actually fantastic watches.
Mm-hmm. So, we are coming to a close for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing about RWBY that I really thought brought out was, as we said, it's a combination of people and the places they're from. It literally is nature and nurture showing how both bring out a person.
Really? And it's a gun.
Say it again, you broke up a little bit?
I said, I always thought RWBY was just, and it's a gun.
Well, in the RWBY world, just about everything's the gun. So, you're not wrong on that one.
Yeah, I know we didn't cover every character, every team, go into the details of some of the political machinations, Salem's powers, Ozpin's powers.
If we went into everything, I feel like we'd be spoiling so much of what makes this show grandeur.
Yeah, we have a lot of problems with this show, and like we joked before, we weren't sure if this belongs in semi-perfect or wasted potential. It does belong, though, in I think you should give it a try. If you do not like it, that is completely fine.
I think the biggest flaw... Well, I find 2 biggest flaws in the show so far, in my opinion. One, a lot of the early beginning stuff they talked about, like